Our lone hero, cheeky yet tough, defends an opulent edifice in an upscale section of town. His attackers are a larcenous gang that exploits the Christmas holiday to pilfer and plunder. Early on in the movie, the leader of this den of thieves disguises himself as one of the good guys, though our clever hero is not so easily deceived. Our champion wages a violent war on the larcenists with creativity and improvisation and some amusing Christmas quips. People are shot in the forehead, they are burned, their feet are lacerated, there's even an improvised zip line that the hero uses to flee. Then, in the denouement, an ally that's yet to be truly involved in the fight delivers the final blow to the gang, and our hero is reunited with his family in a law enforcement-laden happy ending. I am describing, of course, the undisputed champion of Christmas movies, Home Alone. Go ahead, listen to that description again. I'm sure you thought I was talking about Die Hard because that's the title of this video, and I could have been.
Mike, I had to learn how to shave from watching Home Alone. Makes sense. It's like Die Hard for kids.
Home Alone appears on more lists of Christmas movies than any other film and about 2/3 of the lists overall. It's the second highest grossing Christmas movie ever, and was first for almost 20 years until The Grinch beat it out recently. Screen Rant calls it a venerated Christmas classic. And apart from the occasional trolling Scrooge, nobody seriously argues that Home Alone is not a Christmas movie. But far too many Christmas flat earthers out there are content to rip that honor away from Die Hard. They revel in ripping that honor away from Die Hard. But the Die Hard humbugs are wrong. So it's time to end this debate and set the record straight once and for all. Die Hard is a Christmas movie. And before we begin, know this is not some cutesy bandwagon video to get a few clicks during the shopping season. I have been in this debate for decades. I'm kind of convinced that I maybe started this whole thing. I just haven't waded into it in the video format. I have watched Die Hard every Christmas since my aunt gave it to me on VHS.
For Christmas.
And then on DVDs and now streaming, and I am a constitutional attorney and author, a scholar on religion and the law, and I am here to end this fucking debate. If Die Hard isn't a Christmas movie, many of your other holiday favorites fall too, not just Home Alone. Stephen D'Souza argued that if Die Hard is not a Christmas movie, then White Christmas is not a Christmas movie. Who the hell is Stephen D'Souza? Oh, he's just the guy who wrote Die Hard. That's right, the film's co-writer says it's a Christmas movie. Even if everyone else involved with the film disagrees, from director John McTiernan to John McClane himself, Bruce Willis, we writers get the final say on such matters. Oh, and the first substantive word in the script? It's Christmas. Another important writer in this story is Roderick Thorpe, who wrote the book on which the movie is based, Nothing Lasts Forever. And you can bet your holly jolly ass that that story takes place at Christmas. And no, director John McTiernan did not settle the debate against me on the Empire Film Podcast. McTiernan said it wasn't intended as a Christmas movie. And I'll get to original intent and why that's a shitty interpretive method in a minute, but listen to his actual verdict on the question. It's not for us to say, it's people. It's for the audience to say. If the audience decides they want to make it a Christmas movie, it's a Christmas movie. The director says it's up to us, the audience. And in poll after poll, the people have spoken. Die Hard is a Christmas movie. And by the way, on other occasions, McTiernan is more explicit, saying, Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
Die Hard became it. We hadn't intended it to be a Christmas movie, but the joy that came from it is what turned it into a Christmas movie.
According to the writers and director, I am right. And do not bring into the comments Bruce Willis's parting quip during his 2018 Comedy Central roast. Don't bring it into this.
Please listen very carefully. Die Hard is not a Christmas movie.
There are Cousin Eddie level intellects out there who perhaps fail to understand that roasts include jokes, and those jokes frequently announce the opposite of the jokester's true opinion as a way to show love and reverence for the subject of the roast. Willis's next lines, especially the last of the roast, might be more helpful to understand where he's coming from. And pay attention to the chuckle.
It's a goddamn Bruce Willis movie. So a yippee-ki-yay to all of you motherfuckers.
So yeah, man, Bruce Willis is joking about how he's the star of the movie, not baby Jesus. It's a solid joke, now ruined by the not a Christmas movie crowd who need it explained to them. There are some common objections that the purity police of Christmas cinema raise. Christmas isn't part of the plot, it takes place at Christmas, but that's not enough. It's an action movie. First, people making this argument should remember what McClane said to Hans after Hans offs Ellis.
Go fuck yourself, Hans.
Second, Christmas is literally the reason for everything in Die Hard. John flies to LA to see his wife Holly.
Nice first name for someone that's not in a Christmas movie, am I right?
Because it's Christmas. The heist is planned on Christmas Eve for reasons that matter to the plot. The Christmas party, that's likewise integral to everything in the plot, is on Christmas Eve. In interviews, the director explains that the root of the Die Hard story was actually a Midsummer Night's Dream. That is, something happens on a festival night that turns the world upside down. The festival night is integral to both stories. Christmas is built into the very structure of the film. Lethal Weapon, indisputably an action movie, and it came out 16 months before Die Hard. It's also set in LA, also at Christmas, but other than to jump on this debate bandwagon, nobody really argues that Lethal Weapon is a Christmas movie. And certainly it doesn't have the Christmas legions of Die Hard. Why? It's not because Die Hard has that je ne sais quoi. It's because without Christmas working its holiday magic on the plot, Die Hard doesn't make sense. Lethal Weapon could happen whenever. Die Hard needed Christmas because it's a Christmas movie. Fine, Andrew, Christmas is part of the movie, but there's still no Santa, there's no miracles, there's no baby Jesus. And Andrew, you godless heathen, Jesus is the reason for the season, not throwing terrorists off buildings. I've heard these. Let's take them one by one. No Santa. This is just a bad argument because Santa does mysteriously appear from above in this story. You may not remember it, but he's sent down an elevator shaft.
Rather like a chimney, no?
With a message for all the naughty thieves out there expecting loot, but now worried about getting a bullet instead.
Now I have a machine gun. Ho, ho, ho.
And of course, this message is written in red on a plain gray sweatshirt, and thus was born the tradition of the ugly holiday sweater. I assume. What about miracles? Even the most irreligious, secular, blasphemous Christmas movie includes at least a wink or a hint at the supernatural, Andrew. There's the magic of Santa or elves or flying reindeer or just a hint. This is essential. A few points in rebuttal. First, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Second through fourth, Bad Santa, The Holiday, and Love Actually. More seriously, just like A Midsummer Night's Dream, Die Hard must be set around the festival, around the midwinter solstice that became Christmas. The entire plot is based around Christmas because the entire heist is based around Christmas, including the miracles that come along with it.
Are we on schedule?
One more to go, then it's up to you. And you better be right, because it looks like this last one's gonna take a miracle.
It's Christmas, Theo. It's the time of miracles, so be of good cheer and call me when you hit the last lock. The circuits that cannot be cut are cut automatically in response to a terrorist incident. You asked for miracles, Theo. I give you the FBI.
No spoilers, but the entire plot depends on miracles. So yeah, we can check that box. And before we move on, can we just agree that the supernatural as often as not gets in the way of a good story? Die Hard doesn't fall into that trap and is a better movie for it. God did it is a pretty boring answer, and it's even worse as a plot device. It's so awful it's even got a name, Deus Ex Machina. Love and family are far better threads for any storyteller to weave, and Die Hard has that. It begins on a plane with McClane returning to his estranged family because there's no place like home for the holidays. Poetic justice is another lovely element. Al Powell killing a bad guy to recover from some previous trauma. Holly McClane punching the bloodthirsty camera whore, masquerading as a journalist, threatening her employees and children. It's just heartwarming on the family front. And all that poetic justice and those heartwarming reunions, well, they're all happening on Christmas morning because it's a Christmas movie. Please understand this. Christianity does not have a monopoly on Christmas. And even if it did, it couldn't agree on what that monopoly would look like. Since his death, Jesus' followers have disagreed about everything. Today, American Christians can't agree on whether loving your neighbor means loving every human or just the white people who were born here. And Christians the world over have long celebrated, or not, Christmas differently. Some of the first Christians to arrive in North America outlawed Christmas as a, quote, great dishonor of God and offense to others. That included just taking it off as a day of rest. The Puritans also tried to kill all the people living in the area, slaughtering thousands, while, as one commander wrote, their God laughed. The Lord was pleased to smite our enemies and to give us their land. So maybe their theology and ideas behind their government is just not the best. Don't follow that. Hell, Christmas isn't even a word that appears in the Bible, and the Bible itself seems to be against Christmas trees.
We'll get to that in a minute.
The point is, when you give something as wonderful as Christmas to the world, you can't police it and force people to enjoy it in the same way you do. This is especially true if in a country that separates church and state, you're going to go around putting up your Jesus manger scenes on government property and telling public school kids about a miraculous baby born of a virgin. When you do this, you don't get to be surprised when control of the message starts slipping through your fingers. Purity tests for holidays didn't work for the Puritans, and they don't work today, at least not here in America. A strict Christmas in keeping with religious orthodoxy is unfamiliar to virtually everyone who celebrates it in the United States. And that's the way it should be in a diverse, pluralistic democracy that placed a massive liberty statue in the ocean saying, "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free." Words that appear on the statue just offshore of McLean's hometown, by the way. There's no right way to do Christmas. But let's get to the heart of those Jesus objections. There are a few advocates on my side who have likened John McClane to Jesus and compared the trials and tribulations of the two characters, but we're going to skip that. I've been blasphemous enough already. If anything, those similarities exist because both stories map onto the hero's journey. So for the sake of argument, let's just concede that Jesus is the reason for the season. We'll leave aside all of the traditions that have glommed onto this festive time of year and have nothing to do with Jesus. In other words, we're just going to pretend there's only certain kinds of Christians that exist. Jesus still makes an appearance in Die Hard. Sergeant Al Powell checks out the first floor of Nakatomi Plaza, but his cursory inspection reveals nothing amiss and he can't hear the gunfire on the 34th floor.
Oh, the hell is this?
As Al Powell calls dispatch to let them know,
"Yeah, that's a wild goose chase over here at Nakatomi Plaza."
McClane throws the body of a terrorist onto the hood of his squad car, and Powell screams, So, God and Jesus. Powell, of course, survives, and we get one of the iconic Die Hard quips.
Welcome to the party, pal!
A Christmas party, by the way.
And there's more. When Ellis tries to negotiate with the terrorist, McClane tells him,
Hans, this asshole is not my friend. I just met him tonight. I don't know him. Jesus Christ, Ellis, these people are going to kill you.
And we really have to pause here. We must pause here to appreciate Hart Bachner's performance as Ellis, because he absolutely nailed the 80s cocaine-fueled finance bro douchebag caricature.
Hans, Bobby, I'm your white knight.
It's an iconic performance and it deserves its own video, but sorry, Hart, I've got an argument to win. You might think that 2 offhand mentions or invocations of his name are not all that much. Well, that's twice as many mentions as Christmas gets in the Bible. And let's just back up for 1 second. What was that Christmas song that Al was humming on his way out of Nakatomi Plaza? Let It Snow?
Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
There's not a drop of religion in that song. In fact, some of our best Christmas music is devoid of all religion. White Christmas, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Let It Snow, I'll Be Home for Christmas, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, A Holly Jolly Christmas, and I'm sure you can name some more. If Christmas songs don't need Jesus, neither do Christmas movies. And speaking of songs, according to brilliant data nerd Stephen Fellows, who ran the numbers on this question, Die Hard features 4 Christmas songs. Quote, "This means that audibly Die Hard is more Christmassy than 99.2% of all movies released over the past 30 years. You're goddamn right. Is there a baby Jesus in the story? No, but it's not his holiday. It's our holiday. And his followers kind of co-opted the whole season anyway. One realistic way to think about religions is that they're simply an accretion of traditions. Syncretism is the amalgamation or combination or merging of different beliefs and practices and religions into one. This kind of fusion happens especially as religions spread and grow, absorbing the traditions of new geographic areas and people. The Christmas tree, the central aspect of American Christmas homes, may be the result of this. The idea certainly doesn't appear in the Bible, unless of course you count the prohibition on Christmas trees in Jeremiah 10. The Bible says that the Lord told his people not to learn the worthless ways of heathens. They cut a tree out of the forest, adorn it with silver and gold, they fasten it with hammers and nails so it will not totter. And it goes on to make clear that they're talking about idols here, but it sounds an awful lot like a Christmas tree, or rather like a ban on Christmas trees as being too close to those idols. And even if it is idols, you're bringing a wild tree into your home, you're decorating it, you're watering it, you're putting gifts around it. I mean, it's a little like idol worship, and that is in the Ten Commandments too. Christmas trees are also really a pagan tradition that Christians co-opted, probably. The story, probably apocryphal, is that St. Boniface is trying to convert a bunch of pagans, so he chops down the ancient sacred oak tree they're worshiping. Then an evergreen tree grows in its place and he says, look, that represents the baby Jesus. So with a little violence and destruction, this saint makes their holiday about his God. It's not just trees, giving presents, Yule logs, mistletoe. Christianity stole all of those from pagan traditions. Hell, even the time of year is not Christian. The Bible itself says Jesus was born when the shepherds were in the fields. Shepherds didn't sleep in the fields with their flocks in December. So those who want to enforce a rigid traditional understanding of the Christmas season woefully misunderstand the history of this holiday and its accretion of traditions and how it would kill most of what they think of as Christmas. Fine, you make some good points, but Die Hard is just not a traditional Christmas movie, and tradition matters, and this one stinks. Holidays are all about traditions. But arguments from tradition, we've always done it this way, are terrible. And they are only ever used to impede progress. It's an argument used in courts of law to stop human rights and stop equality, and often in favor of religion generally and Christian nationalism specifically. To argue something is not because it never has been is the last refuge of the defeated. It's a bad argument, and you should stop making it in those contexts and here. An original intent is another shitty argument. I'll concede that the director of this movie, John McTiernan, didn't intend Die Hard to be a Christmas movie. But here's the thing. Original intent is perhaps the worst interpretive method when it comes to constitutional law, and the same applies to this debate. Hell, Jingle Bells was originally written and intended as a Thanksgiving song. But it ain't, and good luck winning that debate now. It's a Christmas song. Die Hard may not have been intended by some people as such, but it is now, beyond doubt, a Christmas movie. Holidays are all about traditions. We have a tree in our house. It's a tradition. I don't care if the Bible bans it because I like it, and I like the way it smells and how it changes the center of activity in the house, and especially love decorating it with my kids. Another Christmas tradition that many have is watching Die Hard. And Jesus may be your reason for the season, but the season's not yours. It's all of ours. And in my house, it's not Christmas until Hans Gruber falls off Nakatomi Tower. So,
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.